Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another match review. This is West Ham 3. Can't believe I'm saying that. Chelsea 1. And I'm going to be talking all about my thoughts on the game. I took like a ton of notes as I was watching the match, and then kind of what happened, break down the goals, and where I think that Chelsea go from here. So, of course, it's not the best of days because Chelsea just lost, but I'm going to try to give you my thoughts as rationally as always as possible. If you like the channel, if you like what I do, make sure to sub, drop a like, interact, all that good stuff so that people can find my channel and it can start growing again. So let's get right into this video. So as always, let's start off with the starting 11 and analyze this one. So really what we see here, and I'm just gonna play around. Okay, that's like a little bit nicer for you guys. Really what we saw here was a 3-4-2-1, but it actually felt like a back four at times because Ben Chilwell was essentially playing as a left winger, so Colwill was playing more as a left back, and then Thiago Silva and Disasi as the center backs, and then Malo Gusto as the right back. But it starts off as a 3-4-2-1 with Sanchez in goal, the back five, as I mentioned, Enzo Fernandez and Conor Gallagher in the midfield pivot, and then a front three of Raheem Sterling, Carney Chukwuemeka, and Nico Jackson. So I was a bit surprised that we weren't going to see Caicedo making his debut, but maybe now that we've seen him on the pitch, it makes sense why he didn't start this game. Still early days, still looked like he maybe could have gotten back to full fitness. And I thought, okay, this squad is essentially unchanged from the squad that faced Liverpool. The only substitution really being Malo Gusto for Reece James, which was to be expected. But I thought that we played well versus Liverpool. I thought that there were a lot of positives to draw from that game. So, okay, let's go ahead and build off from those positives. The first 5-10 or so minutes of the game, I thought that we looked okay, but that West Ham really dominated. And of course, they scored within, I think, like 6 minutes. And for the goal, there was just no one marking Aguerd. And that's the thing, like, I don't know how we still have zonal marking at this point in the stage for Chelsea, or a mix of zonal marking and man marking, if you will. But I just don't feel that zonal marking works, because if you replay the tape, you can see that Conor Gallagher and Carney Chukwuemeka are clearly zonal marking. Nobody really follows the run of Aguerd, and he kind of ends up with a free header, and then it's 1-0 to West Ham. And this basically played perfectly into their pockets because they get their goal, they're able to sit back and absorb the pressure. So after the goal, I felt that Chelsea turned it on. Again, I wouldn't like it to take a goal or going a goal down for Chelsea to turn on, but it looked like we were finally starting to get into the game. And I felt that Nico Jackson looked really, really bright. I felt that for the goal that Chelsea scored for Carney's opener, that he was really at the heart of it. And I was a bit gutted because I have him in FPL and he didn't get any points, of course. But then it was really good from Chile to put the ball into the area again. And then Chukwuemeka, like, I didn't even know that he could do that. Like, it was just a brilliant finish from him, and just the way that he moved his body, moved the ball as well. Super happy for him to finally get his first Premier League senior goal for Chelsea, and you could see how much that it meant to him as well. The other thing that I wanted to point out was that I thought in the first half, Raheem Sterling was excellent. It was the Raheem Sterling that I thought that we were going to get when we signed him from City, and he was just zooming past players. You could see that Emerson had such a difficult time marking him, and he was constantly in behind and just causing issues, and it just felt like we didn't really have the attack sorted, or the players weren't expecting it or weren't in the right position. So I think those kinds of tweaks are going to come with time and just playing together and understanding one another and gaining chemistry with one another. But it looked positive. Chelsea looked really, really strong. Raheem Sterling wins the penalty. We finally see who's the designated penalty taker for Chelsea. it's Enzo Fernandez. I'm not sure if he's going to stay the penalty taker. I think this is the first penalty that he's missed in his senior career. I think he's previously scored 5 for 5, and this is the first one that he missed. But overall, just a really poor penalty from Enzo Fernandez. Like, as he was running up, he just didn't look convinced at all. You could feel that he felt the weight of it, and he just looked really nervous, and Areola just read him like a book and saves the penalty. So stays 1-1. Chukwuemeka goes off injured. Unfortunately, Chelsea are playing with 10 men for a minute or two. Then the second half comes out, and I just felt like Chelsea turned off. We just didn't look the same. We didn't look like the same team, and it's really frustrating to see because we looked so good in that first half, and then it just looked like we're a bit devoid of energy or devoid of confidence as well, and that we just didn't know we didn't know how to break past West Ham, so to speak. We didn't know where to go, and it just felt that we had a couple of attacks, they broke down, but nothing ever looked so menacing. Then with 20-ish minutes left to go, I'll just double check here, at the 67th minute, so yeah, 20 minutes left in the game, Aguero gets a second yellow, so he's off with a red, and Chelsea are playing against 10 men. And I would say, honestly, like, you couldn't tell that Chelsea were playing against 10 men because West Ham just looked so together in their defending. They looked so strong, and I would say they even looked better on occasion than they had with 11 men. So I was really impressed with the grit and determination that they showed. But it's a bit sad that Chelsea weren't able to take advantage of that numerical advantage that they had. For the second goal for West Ham, the Antonio goal, he was just giving a schooling to Chelsea. I felt the entire game on what it's like to play in the Premier League. He's your classic Premier League as striker, really strong, the way that he used his body, very quick as well, completely turned Decisive the wrong way, and he gave him way too much time and space on the ball. Like, he absolutely had to cut that out, or cut out the danger, do something. He takes a shot and it goes in. I mean, it was a brilliant shot, but you could tell in his run up, I feel that I saw him kind of go like this to the West Ham fans. So I felt like he knew that he had a really, really good opportunity and that he was going to score because he just looked really, really confident. And then Chelsea just couldn't get back into the game, and I went a little bit out of order, sorry. Couldn't get back into the game, concede a penalty, courtesy of Caicedo, which is just so freaking unfortunate that now all of the headlines are going to be about Chelsea and England's most record signing and how he had a poor game and he conceded a penalty and blah, blah, blah. And I just hate that. I hate that for him. You could tell how much it meant for him to make his Chelsea debut, for him to become a Chelsea player. I love the words that he said, but you could tell that he did look rusty. I'm personally not worried at all about Caicedo. We know the player that he can be. It's a load on your shoulders to have that tag as the record signing. I'm sure Enzo can help him deal with those thoughts and feelings as well, especially both being native Spanish speakers. But it's of course not the debut that he would have wanted to have. So I'm going to share my screen again and just kind of go through the players, see if there's anybody that I missed, and make sure that this looks okay. Let me know if you have a preference for how to look like it looks. I have a couple. This one is okay for now. Let me know what works best for you. So I'm not sure about Robert Sanchez. I don't feel that I've seen enough to be able to judge him. And from my opinion, I felt that West Ham had 2 really good goals and then a penalty. So I don't think that there was necessarily so much that he could have done. I thought that the goals were down to poor Chelsea defending, one for zonal marking and one for Decisive. That was just a really poor mistake. So I would like to see more from him. I am not leaning one way or the other. I haven't seen anything that I go, oh my God, wow, this is such a great signing, but I haven't seen anything to push me the other way either. I thought the Sassy started well in the first half, but then in the second half, it just looked like he got a bit bullied by Antonio, and I think it's going to be a really big learning for him and kind of show like this is what you're up against in the Premier League. Malo Gusto, I thought was really really good. He's rated as 7.2 here, one of the higher rated players in the team, and I thought going forward he showed a lot. Defensively, you could tell that sometimes the West Ham players got the better of him, but he is young, he has the speed, and he has the desire to get back and defend. And so he made some really, really important tackles and interceptions, in my opinion. So I didn't feel so much of a hole at that right back spot with Reece James being out. I felt that he was totally capable, totally handling it. He got forward. Towards the end in the second half, I felt that he was maybe putting in crosses a little bit too early, or like really high crosses or far crosses that realistically nothing's going to happen with them. But I thought that there were really positive signs from him. Enzo, I think, had a good game apart from the penalty miss. And speaking of the penalty, I don't know why Nico Jackson didn't take it. I know that he is a new player in the squad, but I would just really love to see our striker take the penalties, because it's been such a long time since we've had that, and it could be the boost that he needed. You could tell that Nico was just like really craving his first Chelsea goal. He had a couple of really 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 close opportunities and he fluffed them. There was one that when Sterling beat off those people and put the ball into the box, he just missed his kick. Like that could have easily been the goal. And so I really liked what I saw from him. Again, he looks like he has a lot of energy in the tank. He's running, he's creating, he's winning the ball back. His hold up play is good. Like he has all of the ingredients, and I'm excited to see him finally get his first goal, because I feel like once he gets his first goal, he's going to kick off and he's just going to be amazing. But right now, I feel like maybe he's overthinking it just a little bit too much, because he really wants his first Chelsea goal. He's the striker. He's starting. He had a fantastic preseason, and he wants to carry that form into the Premier League as well. I thought Carney Chukwuemeka had a really good game for the one. I was gonna say leg, but that's not the right word, for the 1.5 that he played. And it's so freaking unfortunate that he got injured. I'm not sure what the injury was. It looked like a potential knee injury, and I was worried because he couldn't put any weight onto that left leg coming off of the pitch. But as we know, and anything can happen with injuries, really, because we thought that Reece James was just tired when he came off versus Liverpool, and then now he's out for a couple of weeks. So I'm really hoping for the best, because he really impressed me today as well. And then Ben Chilwell was basically playing as a left winger, or even in a striker position at times. Like he's just getting even further and further forward. He had a really good opportunity as well, but I think he hit it with his right foot instead of his left. So let's take a look at some of the player statistics. You guys know that I love to take on player statistics as well. So let's look at the attacks. Raheem Sterling, like, credit where it's due. I saw a lot of people saying he didn't have a great first game versus Liverpool. I thought that he was okay. Like, he didn't really stand out for me, for better or for worse. But he got 6 out of 7 of his attempted dribbles, which was insane. He was on fire. I would love to know how many of these were in the first half, because I did feel that he tapered out in the second half. Didn't feel that he necessarily approached it with the same energy, and was kind of running out of steam, running into West Ham players, not picking out the right players. But it was really, really an impressive display from him. Shots on target. I can't speak, guys. Shots on target. We see that Bowen actually tops it, and then it's a tie for Chukwuemeka, Gallagher, and Enzo Fernandez. Shots off target. Levi Colwill, Nico Jackson. A little bit surprised about Levi Colwill having 2 shots off target. Blocked shots. Ben Chilwell had one. Conor Gallagher had one, and then we saw dribbles attempted. Raheem Sterling topping the list, and of course he won the penalty as well. So for clearances, you can see that aside from Thiago Silva, it's all West Ham players because we really did attack them and were so dominant in the first half of the game. And so all of these defensive stats really have West Ham, Suchek and Aguerd at the top. Conor Gallagher making 2 interceptions, tackles. Emerson had a really tough job to do playing against Raheem Sterling, but managed to get it done. And then we see, surprisingly, maybe Conor Gallagher and Nico Jackson at the top. Let's take a look at long balls. Enzo Fernandez not doing as much as he had versus Liverpool, 4 out of 7 long balls. But then you can see Levi Colwill, none of his long balls that he attempted came off. Areola, the West Ham goalkeeper, 8 out of 19. So that's pretty interesting to see how they were playing out of the back and trying to get past Chelsea. Ground duels 1, Raheem Sterling topping it, which again, not really so surprising considering the game that I think that he had. Moses Caicedo, 4 out of 7 in the small amount of time that he was on the pitch. Aerial duels 1, Thiago Silva topping the list. Let's see, possession loss, Raheem Sterling tops it, then Enzo Fernandez, Disasi, Nico Jackson at 13. Areola is interesting at 13. That's interesting as well. And I just want to see here in the attack. No, sometimes it shows if you have like a big chance missed or something like that. So I honestly am surprised that Chelsea didn't win this game. I thought that we would have done better in this match, especially how we played against Liverpool. I think the positives that we can draw from this are that we played well in the first half. We attacked well. We created a lot, and unfortunately, we just didn't take our chances. But like I said, I think that those opportunities and the fact that you're playing well despite the results, like I would rather see growth in the team, and I feel that the goals really are going to come in the second half. We just didn't look turned on. We didn't look like a team that was really trying to go for the game and take it by the scruff of the neck. And I think we looked like a young team, which is to be expected because the squad size is the squad age is super young. I think we're one of the youngest teams in the league, and so that's why it really frustrates me when I hear all of these commentators or pundits saying like, oh, what are Chelsea doing? They've just spent over X amount of money and they need to do this and this. Like, yes, we need to play better, but also take into account it's a very young squad. Many of these players have never played in the Premier League before, so it's going to take time for them to get adjusted and to get up to speed. So that's basically my thoughts on the game. I'm going to start reading your comments. If you like my stream, if you like my channel, make sure to drop this a like, comment, interact, sub to the channel as well. I really appreciate any kind of support that you can give me because I love putting content out for you guys. And if you have any tips, anything that you want to see so that I can make this better, please let me know as well. Yeah, says, yeah, still early days. It's okay. Totally agree. Like, it is early days, and it's the second game of the season. I'm not going to take it too harshly. Mark says same as last season, but at least I felt that like in the first half, yes, maybe you can draw some parallels because last season Chelsea were good and then didn't finish. But I did feel that we played better in the first half and we got a goal back. Which I think is the difference. Last season, I feel that if Chelsea went 1-0 down, they weren't coming back from 1-0 down. And we did get the goal back. It was just a matter of pushing for the winner. And in the end, the penalty totally changed the game because if you go 2-1 up, maybe you have a different mentality. Maybe you go on to score a third. So it's just really unfortunate as well that Enzo missed the penalty. Chelsea should have killed the game when they were dominating. You guys need a lethal striker. Honestly, I don't know so many on the market. And I honestly am such a big fan of Nico Jackson. He did fantastic for Villarreal towards the end of last season, scored 9 goals in his last 8 league games for them. And he did really well in preseason. So I feel that I really have this feeling that he's going to be Chelsea's guy. And I hope that I'm not wrong, but he really does look so good. So Yeah. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate you watching. Um, NTZ Rock says it's the same story. We cannot finish. If we continue playing like this, we won't finish in a better position than last season. I think that this is a bit reactionary, to be honest with you, MTZ, because it's the second game of the season, and Poch has had just a preseason with these players. We're seeing like such positive signs, and it's a young group, so let's just let them work. I'm sure in a couple months' time, Chelsea are going to be rocking it. And the other thing is that Chelsea have a really, really good run of fixtures coming up. So we play Luton Town at home. Then we play AFC Wimbledon in the EFL Cup. Then Forest at home. Bournemouth away, which has always been like a bogey team for us, anyways. Aston Villa at home, which I think is going to be a pretty difficult game. Then Fulham away and Burnley away. So really, Chelsea have a pretty good run of fixtures for until, let's see when the next game is, mid-October versus Arsenal. So I really do feel that if we can start stringing together some wins, some momentum, that's going to go a long way as well. And this is going to be the perfect opportunity. I fully expect us to get a win versus Luton next weekend, and I fully expect Chelsea to just keep on improving. Like it's going to take time. And I feel like there are a lot of positives to draw, but the team still is pretty raw. Calvin FPL says, "Hey, just tuned in. How did Jackson look today?" I don't think that he looked maybe as good as he did versus Liverpool. Definitely, I think in the first half he looked better, but I would say that that is the same for the entire team. So maybe because the team didn't necessarily perform as well in the second half, Jackson didn't perform as well. But I thought in the first half he had some really good opportunities, and he honestly should have had like at least one goal because he had a really, really clear chance. So I'm holding him at least for the next couple of weeks, and then if he really does nothing by game week like 5-6, then I'll consider selling him in FPL. Toronto Tokyo says, Chelsea needed Nkunku back badly. I think Chelsea would have done a hell of a lot better with him. That's the thing as well. Like we've been playing the entire preseason with Nkunku, and then he's one of our best players in preseason. The link up play between him and Jackson is fantastic. And then he gets injured and he's out for like 4 months. So of course Chelsea needs to like adapt super quickly in that time as well. When Nkunku's on the pitch, I feel that some of those chances that Chelsea had in the first half turn into goals because he is also just such a lethal goal scorer. He doesn't need that many opportunities. He doesn't even need a clear-cut chance because he can make a half chance work. So I think when we see Nkunku back, like this side will improve as well. But in the meantime, even without him, I feel that we've looked pretty good. Despite the loss, like pretty good in the first half. Second half didn't look so good. I'm just reading through your comments. I actually thought that Sterling was really good in this game, like I said. So obviously he has some points to improve because we want to see that first half performance in every performance that he does for Chelsea. But I think like given the team's performance, he was one of the standout players. YouTube says, "I never understand why people underestimate West Ham. They dropped down badly, but last season as a team, but they do have a team." Yeah, and David Moyes has done fantastic for them. I think especially defensively, West Ham tend to do good because they're a pretty tall team. So we saw versus Chelsea, like, yes, we conceded versus set piece. Chelsea have not been good at defending set pieces recently, but you could see that they were really defending as a team as well, trying to win the first balls, win the headers, and I felt that they really excelled in that department as well. Hippo said Chilwell should have taken that pen. When I think of pen, I don't think of Enzo. Funny enough, going into this pen, I think Enzo had like 100% penalty record, and we've seen that now Enzo is taking corners, and I think he might be taking some free kicks as well, kind of depending on the position. So it seems that he's become kind of like that main taker for Chelsea, if you will. But I agree, like Ben Chilwell was or is vice captain and he scores really good penalties, or give it to Nico Jackson, who's your striker and who's there to score you goals. And I always think it's nicer to just like give the goals to a striker, and if they score, then it inflates like their goal tally a bit. Yeah, I'm really sorry. It's like over 100 degrees here in Madrid, and we don't have AC, so that's like 37, 38, like between 37 and 39 the entire day. So I have the fan on, otherwise I literally will die. So I'm really sorry, but it's meant to cool down next weekend, so hopefully I won't have this problem next weekend. Like, it's just like boiling freaking hot here in Madrid, so I'm like just slowly melting. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think overall, what we as Chelsea fans should take away is, no, it wasn't the result that we wanted, but there were two performances. The first half, lots of positives to take away. The second half, lots of things to work on. Poch is going to be looking at this. I think he had a bit of an experiment playing Colwell more as a left back and Chilwell further up the pitch as a left wing back. I don't think that it necessarily worked out today, so hopefully we just see Ben Chilwell come and like stay as the left back. But it's interesting. At least he's trying things. At least he's changing things. I thought it was interesting who got subbed on. Maybe it was for Caicedo or Madueke, that Chilwell got subbed off, which I thought was interesting. I thought maybe Conor Gallagher would have gotten subbed off, but you could see that at least he was trying to change the formation as well. But I think positives to draw despite a loss, and Chelsea are going to build from here, so it's nothing to be too sad about, guys. It's the freaking second game of the season. Like, there is literally so much that can happen. Like, Arsenal have been 20th at this point in the season, and then go on to have a really, really strong game, or really, really strong season. So I wouldn't really worry too much about it. The signs are there for Chelsea. It's a young squad. It's an inexperienced squad. They're going to learn from this. They're going to grow. And that's basically it. So now we have a new game ahead. Luton at home, I believe. Yes, Luton at home, and I fully expect Chelsea to win that game. It's a new week next week, and yeah, that's basically it, guys. Hope that you guys enjoyed this post-match review. Like I've been saying, if you did, make sure to drop it a like, comment on the video, follow me on social, sub to the channel as well, because tons of content coming your way. And anything else that you guys want to see, let me know in the comments so that I can make the content that you guys want to watch. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope that you have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever time you end up watching this. And until next time, I'm out. Bye.